Good evening. I call this meeting to order of the Lincoln County Board of Education. We are meeting in regular session here on Tuesday, May 6th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the central office in Hamlin. This is a meeting of the Lincoln County Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the county schools business. There's a time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in our agenda item, public comments. This meeting is being live streamed and a video copy of the meeting will be on the board's website within 5 working days. Mr. Barnett is calling in our 5th board member. As soon as we get him on the line.
Hello.
Hey, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're live.
All right.
Now I'll ask board member Cartwright if he'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Cartwright. Moving to agenda item 2, the board members in present are Ms. Carly McComas, Mr. Daniel Cartwright, Ms. Butchie Burns, myself, and phoning in is Mr. Robert Mosteller. Moving to agenda item 3, was there anyone signed up for public comment? No public comment. So we'll move to agenda item 4, which is instruction leadership, where we have Ms. Shortridge talking about the makeup days and teacher resources. Thank you.
Hello. I want to direct you to your packets that you should have either in your folder on top. So what I included is just based on the waiver that
This one, Jody?
Yes.
Okay.
Based on the waiver that we submitted to the Department of Ed, one of the criterias was that we had to have a professional development plan for the days that they waive for our students. So we tried to, as a curriculum team, determine what principals stated and what schools throughout the school year had kind of stated as they'd like to have extra time for. So the first day, we left it more up to the school's leadership. And then that would be when they will actually have their faculty senate, which is the required 2 hours. We moved it to that day because there's a State Department training the following week that we wanted to make sure that they could participate in faculty senate if they went to the Math for Life training. So that's why that was moved.
You mean if they go to this meeting at school on this Friday, the leadership meeting, then they can go to it won't count off for them for anything if they go to the school leadership meeting?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. That's why it was moved.
Okay.
Not on the normal closing date.
Okay.
The Monday plan, a couple of things I just wanted to point out was based on our House Bill 3035. We'll be doing some training in that. It will include all pre-K through 5 classroom teachers. They'll be trained in dyslexia. They'll also have time to make sure files are in order for the notification letters if the students are possible retention, because this incoming group will be that first group of retention based on that House bill. So if you look, there's dyslexia. We have dyslexia teams that have been trained at every school, and then they will train their staff. So that includes ECATs, that includes special ed aides, that includes everyone. So we'll get a training on dyslexia. There's co-teaching training, scaffolding, SREB through SREB, CTE training. Our special education aides will have CPI training. And then there'll be some cross-curricular planning time for those related arts, science, and social studies teachers. On the
What is CPI training, Joni?
that
For
is
everybody to
the
know.
restraint. So what the hope is that you de-escalate before you have to put your hands on students. So
and
they
I-
receive both of
Dr.
that.
Burns, it used to be called passive restraint.
Yeah, but I wanted the parents to know what that was too.
Tuesdays, plan is more geared toward intervention. So you'll see that ELA intervention, all classroom teachers will have time for that. And what we're gonna be doing in those sessions is we're gonna group the students so that when we start the next school year, we're ready to hit the ground running. So we'll be looking at the data and we'll be grouping their intervention groups for the following school year. So they'll know the incoming students that they'll have. And then the math intervention, what I want to kind of highlight is if you flip to the next page, we've worked really hard on trying to get some resources together for teachers in preparation for next year as far as mathematics goes. So we have created folders in OneDrive that's it'll eventually be K through 12, and it'll have resources per grade level. And I gave you some samples of what you might see in the third grade folder that I've shared with principals already.
How far will we go in the grades this year? K through 6?
It's K through 12.
K through 12
Yeah,
for
it's
everybody, so
yes.
all math?
Yes.
Okay.
So, what the first thing that's dropped into that folder, these are just examples. It's lots and lots of documents. It loads really slow. I didn't want to take up your time. I knew we had a full agenda, but, so you have the math blueprint, so the number of test items per grade level that students are tested on based on the standards and domains. And then the next item is an example we pulled from the test authoring site, the Cambium site. There's over 100 of these items dropped in for teachers to immediately have access. And what our hope is they'll use them as bell ringers for next school year. And they're coded, Mr. Sampson put them specifically based on their domain and their standard in folders. So
And they come
teachers.
straight from the test itself?
Correct. So there's over 100 of these in those folders. That starts in third grade. Another example I gave you was some fluency. This is an 80-page document that teachers can use. It's for fact fluency, so it can be used in small group or in interventions, but it's immediately, they can print it, it's at their fingertips. The next lesson is an on-the-spot teaching support guideline, and it tells the teacher it basically explains how to scaffold, which is something that we hear a lot from teachers that they would like some support in. So it tells them, if you look on the back, for example, it tells them to stop when they, like this is a third grade lesson, so if they're teaching multiplication, it says, okay, this is a good point to stop to refresh the student's memory on arrays. They should have learned that in second grade, so it's a reteach, it's scaffolding. So this could be used within the classroom again, small group or intervention groups. The next example is, it looks like this. It says tools for instruction, and there's over, I believe, 40 items like this based on standards for each grade level dropped in. And these are activities that ECATs could do, interventionists could do, teachers can do. They can do it in small group and they can do it in intervention. It's always hands-on math. It tells them exactly how much time and what materials are needed and what standards are addressed.
Is there a book that you're giving to them more than just these papers?
No, I'm dropping it in a digital folder.
Okay.
Yeah, they can print them. And so there's interim assessments that we've dropped in. They can utilize for pre and post assessment. They're small little assessments based on that skill. So they could do that prior to intervention and then at the post to see if they've made the gains and mastered the skills. They can use it within the classroom again or within the intervention. This could be their goal based on their House bill plan. And then this is data to support whether or not they reach that goal. And then the last thing in your packet is the Summer Academy. So that is our plan for the Summer Academy. It's just a simple, it's typed up. We had held off on sending it out to teachers. We were trying to make sure there wasn't any sports organizations or anything that would possibly want to provide lunch as a fundraiser like they have in the past. But we sent that out.
It'd
It
be
should
nice
have
if
been
you could get the paper to do an interview with you about what this is and what it would mean for the younger ones at elementary to go to this. So they could, they just won't get it from the school. They might have a little bit of knowledge from, a little bit more wider knowledge about what this really is, and let them go to that. Is it a half day?
The trainings?
No, the school, the classes themselves.
So one thing that we're trying to do is increase math minutes for
Yes.
next year for K through 5. So our hope is that principals put in 80 minutes versus 60. We focused heavily on reading. You guys saw the growth. Teachers have worked hard, principals have worked hard, ECATs, aides, and what we're hoping is to pick right up where we've left off with math, the same. So with that, they would get 80 minutes of math instruction every
Daily.
day. Mhm.
And then you'd pre-test like in the fall and post-test in the spring to see
You
what the
could.
growth would have
The,
been.
the pre and post could be within the small group, within intervention. We do the diagnostic 3 times a year. If they're third and up, they get the GSA.
So you're kind of gonna have it though organized till each, like a second grade teacher knows exactly what she needs to give. Fifth grade teacher knows
Yes,
exactly.
that's how this is set up.
Okay,
Mhm.
and they'll have training on this the preschool year, before the school year
The
starts.
teachers are
Yes.
getting the training at the end of this school year in
Okay.
place of the kids, those
Okay.
5 days.
Then we're gonna have maybe a review just before school starts with all of them.
We have a teacher academy the following week, actually, and then where we start early, we don't have any plans for that unless they do it in their PLCs,
Okay.
which could be an option.
Okay, that might be a good option, cause math is a little bit hard sometimes for some of them,
Yeah,
some of our young ones.
so I thank you guys for your time. Do you all have any further questions?
Do we have any idea how many students we have that will be retained based on 30, 35 yet? Too early.
It's
That'll
this
be
year's third-
next year,
Yeah,
yeah,
next year's third
um,
grade class.
Yeah, what we do is I can send you it. We send the State well, actually now they pull it directly from already. They don't even contact me, but I used to send it in an Excel spreadsheet per grade band of who didn't meet the cut scores.
Do you do it by school, Joni? By
Yeah,
school?
oh, no, it's by grade level.
By grade level?
Mhm.
I thought you might do it by school and by grade level with no names on it, but just, how many, like at, one of the schools, how many would be, so we could kind of look at that as a board ourselves.
Yeah, I
And
could
then-
easily get you that data.
I'd like to see that
Yeah,
and see
sure.
how we're doing on that, and the schools,
Yeah,
and how many are being retained in such schools, so we could kind of know what we might need to do in supplemental materials or extra classes or something.
sounds good.
Thank you, Ms. Shortridge,
Thank you.
for sharing that. I think it's
Yes.
a great idea to have PD's personal development. Since we got those days relieved, then it's great to have a plan, and this is a good deal, good thing.
Just kudos to Ms. Shortridge and her team. With the way she's got this set up, it's, all teachers just have to go in and click a box, and it drops down everything that they could possibly want as far as the test authoring items, the items that are, the amount of items that are being tested per strand. Everything that's there, her team has done all the work. So the resources are at their fingertips. So kudos to them.
We know teachers are overworked, underpaid, and the number one thing they tell you is they need more time, and so that's what we've tried to do, is provide them a little bit less
Yeah,
time,
you gotta teach all the time
resources.
you have the kids, and the rest of the time
Right.
you might be able to look over a test and
So-
figure out what you need to
So
do.
hopefully it's beneficial.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. I'll let you
Yes,
get to
thank
the
you,
fun
Joni.
part now.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that does take us to agenda item 5, which is special recognition. So I'll turn it over to our superintendent, Mr. Barnett.
All right, this is always the good part of the meeting. So hopefully I have everything here. I think I do. But we had, just to give you a little example, our students' organizations like Skills, HOSA, FFA, those are the varsity sport for CTE. I can't think of any way better to say it. They're the varsity sport for CTE. So, and we have some state champions in our varsity sport, and you can see the red blazers and the polos out here. And so I'm very proud of these students. CTE and well, of course, CTE is dear to my heart, but so is Skills USA. Having a very active skills group, and it's there's nothing like being in that big crowd up there and hearing them announce Lincoln County High School. That's a big deal, and we really enjoy it.
is.
We had a state officer last year, state president actually, Bobby, and we have a state officer this year, Emma. So I'm not sure, you're not sure yet what office you'll hold yet, are you?
I'll find out in June.
Okay, yeah, I know you had some things you have to go to, but really proud of these guys, so we just wanted to take an opportunity to share a little bit with you what their accomplishments. And we were going to do this, but somebody, the superintendent, scheduled it over spring break, which was not very bright of me, but, so we're going to do a makeup day.
All right.
So, if you're not, yeah, hopefully, I think we've got everybody on here. I apologize ahead of time, I don't think we've left anybody else, but I think we're good to go.
Okay, so we'll start with Logan Wyckoff, gold medal for automotive service technology. Bobby Lucas, gold medal for commercial Suis drone contest.
Yes.
Jackson Caldwell, gold medal for commercial, I'm gonna say SUAS, drone contest rather than regional work. We have Joe Jackson, gold medal for urban search and rescue. We have Desmond Fry, gold medal, urban search and rescue. Abby Pauley, silver medal for mobile robotics technology. Sam Salee, silver medal for mobile robotics technology. Emma Ray Sanders, state officer.
We also had some middle school students that participated.
Okay, we have Case Fry, gold medal for commercial SUAS drone for middle school.
He does that in between the ball
We have
games.
Jacob Harshbarger, gold medal for commercial SUAS drone for middle school. Kara Reynolds, bronze medal for job skills demonstration A for middle school. Abby Johnson, silver medal for job skill demonstration open for middle school. We have Brooke Jeffers, silver medal, prepared speech, middle school. We have Larry Harshbarger, Skills USA instructor. Jennifer Bayless, Skills USA instructor.
Just want to wait a minute. If you look at all these medals that Ms. Bayless is wearing here, Mr. Harshbarger has them as well. Anytime the students get a medal, they get a replica medal that they're to give their instructor.
Good.
So you can see that she's done this a time or two.
Yeah, she's done okay.
I've known Ms. Bayless for a long time, and at the beginning of last year, I was able to snag her from Putnam County.
Good for you. Good for us.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we have David Burns, Skills USA instructor.
Part of David Burns will be played by Larry Harshbarger.
Stephen Agdon, Skills USA instructor. James Messinger, Skills USA instructor.
Give these guys a hand again. This is
Yeah.
a lot of work. A lot of extra work that goes into what they do during the course of the day and the course of the week. And if you ever get the opportunity as board members to go to Fairmont and watch this ceremony and just watch the contests, it's amazing. I was walking through this past year looking at some of the ornamental welding. It's just incredible what these kids can do. And watching what these guys do, just watching them fly the drones through the obstacle course, if you will, and I just thinking to myself, no, that it'd be against the wall if it were me. A nice job. So I'm really proud of them. The next group of students that we have are from Guyan Valley Middle School, and these students created a commercial for Dickinson Salt Works. And they actually they won that contest, and I believe they won last year with another commercial for Blenco. So this time we want to recognize some of those students. So
All right, we have Orion Algier from 7th grader, Explore the New Manufacturing Student Video Contest.
Ms. Walton, Ms. Walton's the sponsor, if she can come up and accept.
Ariana Burns, 8th grader, Explore the New Manufacturing Student Video Contest. We have Tucker Davis, 8th grade, Explore the New Manufacturing Student Video Contest. Marcus Hatfield, 8th grade, Explore the new manufacturing student video contest. Grayson Hoover, 8th grade, same thing, explore the new manufacturing student video contest. Christina Jeffers, 8th grade, explore the new manufacturing student video contest. Tiana Lee Maynard, 8th grader, explore the new manufacturing student video contest. Coy Montgomery, 7th grade, explore the new manufacturing student video contest. We have Josie Salmons, 8th grader, for explore the new manufacturing student video contest. We have Miss Bobby Wally, the instructor, for explore the new manufacturing student video contest.
Congratulations.
And we
Proud
have
of
Miss
you.
Carmen Faust, also instructor for explore the new manufacturing student video contest.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
All right. Thank you all for the hard work that you've put in, and we will continue on with the board meeting. The rest of this is kind of boring, so if you would like to be excused, you're welcome to do so. And if you'd like to sit here, you're welcome to do so. So,
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Thank you all for all the good work you do. We're proud of all of you. Shoot, I wish we'd had somebody take their picture with their pretty red shirts on.
I've got all kinds of them.
Good, good. Let's get somebody to do a little thing for the paper with their picture in it.
so with that, we're going to move on to agenda item 6, which is approval of the minutes.
I'll make that motion of the last April the 29th regular meeting.
Yes, Ms. Burns makes the motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Cartwright. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Takes us to agenda item 7, consent. There's in that agenda item, it looks like we've got items A through J, so I'll give you a second
Give us
to
a, go over that.
look over that.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Cartwright makes the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Mosteller seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Passes 5-0.
The only thing is, I didn't have time to ask about age,
Oh.
posting a new position for communications director.
We're looking
Tell
at.
us a little bit about that.
Okay, we have hired a communications director through Mount West, or not Mount West, through Mountain State for the past few years, and the price on that is about $33,000. And it ends up that Mr. Davis or I are handling the majority of that, the lion's share of it. So we're looking at creating a position to where like a halftime position where a person may absorb those communication duties, which means they've answered a phone call to see if I want to talk to the media or however that. And also in the other part of it, they could do some clerical work for things like Medicaid, some different things of that nature, so we can get a multifaceted position there.
And we will pay them out of Lincoln County funds.
That's correct.
So it won't
Part
be like
Lincoln County,
RISA
part
or
special ed.
anything, it would be
No,
us.
It'll be
Okay.
us.
About how much money will that be?
It'll be
That attachment's in here, isn't it?
About the same.
about the same
About the same as what, $35,000?
as we were paying, yeah.
Okay.
The difference is there'll be other duties.
And we will advertise that and post it as a position and
Correct.
let people apply for it?
That is correct.
Okay.
So,
All right. So that takes us to agenda item 8, policies. We had some
We didn't talk
policies.
about J and vote on it. J up there that's after posting the communications director, right?
Yeah.
Did we vote on that?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
we took yes.
Okay.
So you can check out the policies, they're in the attached if you need so.
Okay.
Items A and B are tabs A and B under agenda item 8, policies. If there's no discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Cartwright with the motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Mosteller. All in favor? Aye. And that passes 5-0. Next is agenda item 9, that's allowed and authorized payment of bills. You can
Gotta do that.
check the attachment there under finance.
Mr. Lucas is at the actual financial conference. I asked him if there was anything on there that's out of the ordinary other than typical monthly bills, and he said, no, there's nothing there. It's just the typical monthly invoices that we get.
If there's no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion to pay the bills.
Motion by Ms. Burns,
I'll second it.
seconded by Ms. McComas. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and it passes 5-0. That takes us to agenda item 10, personnel. That's your blue sheet.
Okay. Give us a minute to
Yes,
look
I'll
over
give
that.
you, give you some time to
Yeah.
review that.
So the only places we're gonna have for summer enrichment is gonna be Hamlin Elementary. We're gonna have a coordinator and a teacher there. Oh, no, I see, no, summer,
No, that's just site coordinator. And
okay.
we-
Well, it
we're
said the
filling-
job,
Well, we're filling the teachers' positions as they apply.
so Rebecca Roy on tonight is not a teacher of,
She is.
She is,
She's a
okay.
summer enrichment
now,
teacher.
how many of those are we gonna have?
There'll be, I think, 3 per school.
Okay, so that means, her school means elementary or secondary?
Elementary.
Okay, so altogether, that would be,
Well, we're having 4 sites, it'll be 12
yeah,
positions.
12
Yeah.
for the county, okay.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve personnel.
Mr. Cartwright makes the motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Mosteller. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that passes 5-0. Next is agenda item 11, superintendent updates.
Again, just a big shout out to Ms. Shortridge and the curriculum team for putting together all those materials and items for our teachers, the resources that they can use and have at their fingertips so that they can spend more time concentrating on teaching in the classroom and less time researching materials. So her team has worked tirelessly on that, and it's a pretty impressive document that once you get into it and you know, say you wanted to teach standard 3.1.2 in math, you click on that standard and it gives you a whole litany of lessons and actually instructions on how to teach that lesson, so that in the intervention groups, someone who's actually not mathematically trained can still go in and teach that lesson. It's also a wonderful tool if we have to have a substitute.
And it's a good, I think, for parents to look at that too and see what they're doing at each level and how they're doing it. And if they don't understand something, you know, they might be able to bring that up, the teacher could bring that up and talk to them about what
Sure.
that is.
Okay, and then just moving forward, we met with the contractors yesterday for the walkway, the covered walkway over at Lincoln County High School for the bus drop-off. And actually, they started on it today, and then we had a situation with the utility company, so they'll be back to work on that Thursday. He said once they get the holes dug and the posts set, the whole process, he thinks they can get it done in less than 2 weeks.
Now, that's gonna be at the back, cause they let them off out
Correct.
there to back, so
Yes.
it won't bother the front
No.
any at all, will
No.
it? Okay.
No, it's in the back, and what it is, it's a 70-foot by 10-foot walkway.
That they walk underneath.
That they can get underneath to stay out of the weather. And then we've also expanded the sidewalk another 40 feet, so in a good weather, kids can stand under
Yeah.
that. So it'll get them out of the weather.
Oh, yeah, that's such a good idea, and it's out back, so none of the parents will be bothered by it dropping kids off or anything.
No.
So that's the best thing to do.
No, it's just for the
That's
buses.
a very good idea.
So there's that, and then, of course, we did have a break-in at the concession stands again. They've been out repairing doors on that.
They don't leave money, they just leave like, the pop and the stuff
Yes,
that they're
they're-
gonna
yeah,
serve,
they're-
and that's
they're-
what they clean out.
They're getting snacks.
Oh,
So, we're working on another security system there. The police, of course, police report's been filed, it's been reported to our insurance company, so, because there was some pretty substantial door damage.
how many times have they broken in over there on that?
2 since I've been here.
You know what, we need to think about moving that someplace into the high school in a
Well,
storage
you
stage.
can't, you,
They could take it a little bit as they need it, because they're gonna keep doing that and
that would
cleaning
be,
us out.
I understand, but that would be very problematic for our youth leagues to do that.
It would be, but boys, they are losing money, and we are too, because we have to replace it. But I just, they know it's there, and they know nobody's over there after a certain hour, and they just go clean us out.
Well, we caught them last time, we'll catch them again.
I hope so.
Camera's picking it up.
If there's no further updates, that takes us to agenda item 12, which is board member comments, and,
I'd like, next agenda, to get some information I would encourage everybody to read into it prior to the meeting, with some discussion on House Bill 2164. It just got passed, and I think it's something we need to, it's a kind of an expansive bill, so I would read it before the meeting. And
Could you get get the superintendent to copy that and mail it to us all? You wouldn't have to do that? Would that be okay?
Sure.
Mr. Brown?
Absolutely.
I think it's something that at some point
We
we're going
need
to
to
need
be
to
aware
entertain a
of
work session on, but
Yeah.
we need to start the discussion, I think, soon.
Okay.
Now, is that already passed?
Yes.
So it's already law anyway.
Right.
We just have to know what to do and how to do it.
yeah, it's,
Because that's for the coming school year, isn't it?
Yes.
that'd be good if we
That's
get
all
some,
I have.
yeah, get some
Yeah,
information
it'd be
on
good
that
if we knew
this
about it,
week,
because the
and then,
teachers are gonna be trained on it in the fall, aren't they, Mr. Barnett?
No, it's a different
No,
house bill,
different
Ms.
House
Burns,
bill.
totally different.
Get it put on the agenda so we can discuss it in,
Yeah, we need to see
further-
that too.
Further detail.
Because we'll probably get a lot of questions about that.
Yes, that'd be good.
Okay.
Only comment I got is the entrance out here looks a little different after the storm, so, I've said it's needed upgraded for a while, so this may be a good time
Time to
to,
upgrade.
update our, curb appeal
Well,
out here at the board's office.
that's what we're working on. We're working on, actually, that's been turned in the insurance. We're waiting to see what happens with that. But I was just amazed at that morning when I come in and that carport's sitting sideways.
Sideways.
It's about 2,500 pounds, and that plastic Duval sign is unscathed. So, just
Isn't that
it's crazy
strange?
how the wind
I know
works.
it.
But it picked it right up off of that and turned it sideways and sat it down. So now, that same structure is sitting over behind the transportation department, and they have the mowers and tractors parked under it. So we still repurposed it. So,
If there's no other comments,
Mr. Wilson, I'd move to enter executive session to take up items 13 through 15 in executive session.
okay, Mr. Cartwright makes a motion, to enter executive session. Do I have
I'll second it.
Mr. Mosteller seconds that, to meet an executive session at 6:33 to discuss employee hearing. Do I have, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that passes 5-0. So we will now enter executive session. By Mr. Cartwright to, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
And second by Ms. Burns to return to regular session at 7:49. Taken or decisions made. So that takes us, in executive session, we had agenda item 13, which was an employee hearing, as well as agenda item 15, student discipline hearing. Item 14, superintendent's evaluation. I make a motion that we table that until our next meeting.
Yeah.
I'll second
Is it-
that.
Okay, motion by Mr. Wilson, second by Mr. Mosteller to table agenda item 14 until our next regular board meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and that carries 5-0. So taking up agenda item 15, student discipline hearing, in accordance with West Virginia Code 18A-5-1A and 61-7-2, and West Virginia Department of Education Policy 4373, student A shall be expelled from Lincoln County Schools.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Cartwright makes a motion,
I'll second it.
second by Ms. McComas. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And that passes 5-0. And that takes us to agenda item 16, which is adjourned until Tuesday, May 20th, 2025 at 6 PM at the central office in Hamlin.
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Burns makes a motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Cartwright. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's 5-0, and time is 7:51.
This has been a long.
Yeah, they,
Huh?